Back with the 20 by 30 Hurricane brand carport. Really just going to be going through, like I said in the other video, I'll be doing 2-inch insulation board in between all these posts, you know, all the way down, all the way up and around. And on the inside of the insulation board, along these posts and supports, I'm going to add furring strips. One every 16-17 inches, somewhere in there. Really not on the sidewalls, but on the roofing, because it'll be the panels, insulation board, which is 2-inch, so it'll come exactly to here, flush, and I'll put the furring strips on, and it'll be backing and support and insulation all the way around. So besides that, you also got this little iffy area, which is in every spot. You'll have a bracket on one side, no bracket on the other, but if you look, for one, if you put a bracket on this, it's like not even enough to catch on to that bolt. You could always go get other hardware and nuts and stuff, and I probably will. I'm definitely going to be Loctiting these. This brings up another issue, the rust. You know, I bought my kit like this sealed, and there's rust on it, so I really don't know how long it's going to last. I am going to try to spray something on there for longevity, but we'll see. Besides that, the panels, super flimsy like I showed in the last video. It's definitely not going to support snow. No way, no how. I'll show you the screws that come with, like there's that panel, I painted mine. These are the screws that come with the little self-tappers. And I had a bunch extra after doing my roof on my house that were about twice this length. I was trying to use those, but I kept snapping them, so yeah, I just wound up using those. The small ones work, they get in there. I don't know if they're going to hold up. Yeah, these panels, pretty weak. You figure if there's, you know, 1.5 feet, 2 feet of snow on top of that, you know, up there, even if it is held in by, you know, 8 screws on each side, I still feel like that's enough snow, especially if it starts to melt. It's going to turn to ice, and that's a lot of weight with no support besides this, and it's just not really worth the risk. So there's a bunch of different areas when it comes to doing this. Doing the sidewalls is a pain. Like I showed in the video earlier, here I am with a huge gap, which I'm just going to wind up sealing that up, putting a piece in there, an extra piece, and siliconing it. I've already came around last night and siliconed a lot of these seams. You can't really see them from this angle, but, and either from that angle, maybe from over here. Yeah, there you go. So the seams are really wide open. I mean, that's with an overlap, but I just went ahead and I put some silicone through here, through there, and all the way up and around. And there's about 1 tube of caulk, silicone caulking. So I still need about 5 or 6 more. That's about 50-60 bucks right there, unless I just buy a whole contractor's box, which I might. There's a lot of small things to consider when getting one of these kits. You know, I got mine for like 1,700 bucks on Marketplace. I was like, oh, that's a really good deal. You know, instead of having one built, I was saving thousands, cool. And I thought this was only going to take maybe a few days. But here we are about a week in. You know, it's just me, my wife, she'll help out when she can. But ultimately, having no instructions, having no supports, you know, and trying to get all these panels up yourself, especially when you're doing the roof, because it's not like, you know, 10 foot or 12 foot, 16 foot panels, you know, or even 20 foot panels where you just lay it up there and tack it and you got a large section done. You're laying panels like this, you know, 56, 57 inches wide, so you got 6 across, and it's 4 total from the ridge all the way down. That's a pretty good bit, you know, just to do one side, and you're up and down the ladder, constantly repositioning it. As you can kind of see here, you got to have somebody holding the poles just right, the supports, or things don't really line up. You see everything's going straight here, and then it kind of veers off this way up here. Now you get up closer and it kind of blends together, but there's still some bends, fun stuff like that. I'm trying to think of anything else. If I do think of anything, I'll make another video. You know, this is just my run-in with this. Try to keep a nice seam all the way along the edge, which somewhat doable. I mean, it's a little thicker over there, but yeah, once it all goes up, like right now I'm shaking it. Can't even really tell it's shaking at all. So it definitely gets a little more solid as you go, but plenty of extra support needed. You know, like I said, mainly along this corner here. Definitely a couple in the middle. My daughter's over here messing with something, about to make it all fall down on us. Cool. But most importantly, if you're in the Northeast or anywhere with snow or heavy rainfall, storms, whatever, I would definitely do. You could probably even get away with 2x4s up top. I mean, I'm almost 300 pounds, and I was able to climb up a ladder, you know, and kind of get my body weight in this area. And it didn't really shift it much. It did a little bit, but still stable enough to where I feel like even using 2x4s straight across, you know, this is a 20x30, so you can get away with using 3 10x, you know, 10 by 4x2, whatever, all the way across. You know, and I'd probably put them every 2 feet, you know, maybe 13, 14, 15, 16 inches, somewhere in there. Just to add that support. I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to these. They cheaped out. There should have been more. Maybe there was, but for the price, I don't know if I would do it again. Unless I was fully prepared and ready.